right, we are back. Picks challenging. Good week for me last week, 8-5. Overall, this year's been tough because favorites are winning. And if that happens, I don't. Boomer, let's dive right in. A lot of games to talk about, and I cannot wait. There is one game here that might be the ugliest game to ever be played. It's going to be incredibly exciting. Let's go to the picks.
Picks of the week.
Folks, this is a game you don't let your friends play. You just don't. Friends don't let friends bet Chargers Pats. Chargers laying 5.5 as they travel to New England.
Pats are done, man. Bailey Zappi's going to probably start for them. That's what it looks like to me. Chargers, are playing for their playoff lives. I know it's Brandon Staley. I know they're on the road. I know it's cold. They're coming all the way across the country to play just an absolute Patriot offense that has no semblance of confidence whatsoever. Their defense has played well, but I think Justin Herbert would be too much for them. I'll lay the 5.5, and I'll take the Chargers.
I'm with you. And everything he just said is right. You can't – the Chargers shouldn't be favored over anyone because the Chargers will take a winning lottery ticket and they'll fall into the street and get hit by a bus with it while trying to go cash it in. But you have to take the Chargers.
I love the analogy.
It's just, Boomer, they cannot stand prosperity.
I hear you.
Lions laying 4.5 as they head down to New Orleans.
We were talking about this in the first segment about the Lions and their defense and how disappointing it has been. And I know that Jared Goff this week is talking about not turning the ball over, which is great. On the other side, you got Derek Carr who's flatlining and he can't get the team in the end zone. The Saints still have a chance of winning that division down there. This is not going to be an easy game for the Lions. I'm gonna take the Saints and the points, the home dog here, and I think that Derek Carr has a chance to obviously have a big game against this Lions defense.
I'm with you. Look, Dennis Allen, Derek Carr as dogs. Yes. As favorites, like last week, no. I can't trust the Lions to go on the road laying north of a field goal right now. The turnovers are out of control. I need to see Aaron Glenn make some changes defensively. Got to get more aggressive. I'm with Boomer here. I'm going to take the Saints, take the points. Steelers laying 5.5, traveling to Arizona. I know, this one stinks.
Wow, look what happens when you go over 400 yards on offense when you're the Steelers. Everybody goes crazy. But I did love Kenny Pickett's point that, look, guys, it's not about the yards, it's about the points, and 16 points ain't going to be enough. No. And that game versus the Bengals last week was ugly. And I suspect that this game is going to be just as ugly. You're going to have Kyler Murray running all over the place. The Steelers are going to try to jam it down the throats of the Cardinals by running the football. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to take the Steelers 5.5 points.
It feels dirty.
It does. I know.
Guys, that's the other thing. We always talk about it. That's a lot of points in an NFL football game. This ain't college. Beating teams by, essentially beating a team by 7, you're in the dead zone of 5.5. You got to put a hurting on somebody to win an NFL game by 7. But I have to do – this is gross. I'll do it. I'll go Steelers.
Wow, that's 3 for 3.
I know. Mind melding.
Man.
Atlanta, laying 2, traveling to the Jets.
You know what? I'm not taking the Jets ever again. I mean, they've been killing me, dude. They've been killing me.
You got to let the Hail Mary go.
I took them last week.
I know.
And now I'm sitting there at halftime, and I'm like, what did I
done?
See? What did I just see? Had you ever seen a returned Hail Mary for a touchdown?
Never.
We've all seen the long field goal miss, and we've seen the guys taking it back. It goes all the way back to that Auburn-Alabama game a few years back. Maybe it was about 10 years ago.
Yep.
And now we see NFL teams take shots at that. But I have never in my life ever seen that. And look, I was a Jet player at one time, and there are a lot of things that happened when I played that I never saw it until I played.
Can I offer you something?
Yes.
You don't have to change, but
okay.
I'm going to offer this friendship.
Yeah. Veto?
Arthur Smith. You can absolutely veto, but Arthur Smith.
Yes.
After a win, is the least profitable coach against the number.
I mean, that's in the weeds now.
In the history of the NFL.
So far in the weeds now. How many times has Tim Boyle been in this situation? Never.
Tim Boyle's a big game player. No, this is awful, but I'm telling you. Here's the thing. I'm asking you. You do me a favor now. Have the Jets quit.
No.
If the Jets defense hasn't quit, we ride. We're going with Fireman Ed. I'm taking the Jets.
All right, but I'm staying with the Falcons.
Okay. Colts-Titans. Colts laying 1.5 on the road.
Oh, my
Vrabel
God.
is a home dog.
I'm taking the Titans. And I'm taking the Titans.
Disgusting.
You know what? And the reason I am is because this is a game where, you think that Gardner Minshew's got to figure it out. This is 3 in a row for the Colts. But there's also a game where he could just go down there and start throwing interceptions all over the place. So I will take the Titans like in this last stand, last quarter of the season, and Mike Vrabel, trying to make a statement. And I thought they made a statement win last week.
Yeah, and you're playing a trend. You guys, this is in real life. I got bad news for you. Boomer and I are not sitting around in bathrobes betting every game.
Nope.
Okay, but for the sake of the show, you're playing a trend. You never bet against Tennessee at home as a dog. You just don't. They stop the run. It's the only thing the Colts can do. I love Minshew in a pinch, but if he's your starter every week, you get exposed. You are a backup for a reason. That's not insulting. It's just life. All right, we're trusting Will Levis. This is going swimmingly.
Yes.
Dolphins laying 9.5 against the Commanders.
By the way, they're Colts and Titans. I go under in that game, by the way.
Yeah, under 10.
Right. So we get the Dolphins and Commanders. I'm going over in this game because I think that the Dolphins are going to roll out the Ferrari, if you will. Yeah. And they are going to put a hurting on the Commanders, who basically really don't have a pass rush to speak of, especially with an offense like.
Well, when you've traded it away,
I know.
That generally happens.
And I think this is one of those games where, Tua didn't play great last week against that Jet defense. And, the Jet defense, like I told you, can keep it close to a point until the Jet offense fails. I think this is a situation where Miami's defense should be able to get a couple of turnovers and sacks on Sam Howell. Why do I say that? Because that happens every week. So I think that the Dolphins will cover here, and I'm going to take them, and I'll lay the 9.5.
This is a lot like when I let the dogs out at night. I just leave the back door cracked open so they can paw their way back in while I go get a few things done. 9.5's a ton. Bieniemy. You know what, Boomer? I admit it. I love Sam Howell.
Yep.
I just feel like 9.5. I mean, come on. I got to take the 9.5.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you.
Now watch, it'll be 70-20 or something, but I'll take the Commanders.
Okay.
This is, to me, I'm a nerd. I love this next game. Texans favored by 3 over the Broncos. A rookie favored by a full field goal. The Broncos can't lose. They're winning every week.
Yeah, they look great. Let me ask you this. Rookie head coach, a rookie quarterback. They fell flat on their face last week against a Super Bowl winning coach and a great quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Russell Wilson has played unbelievably well over the last few weeks. He is not turning the ball over like he was last year. And he's also taken some chances because, Sean Payton is driving him. But
you think the book is offering you a nice deal here?
I know. So this is the mind game you like to play with me. I'm taking the Broncos. I don't care. I'm taking the Broncos and the points.
Texans.
Okay.
I just, based on that number, and here's the thing. If you want a football thing, not just, wacky gambling logic, the Broncos are the worst tackling team in the league. They miss like 25% of their tackles. They're a horrendous tackling team.
Now, does this go back to the beginning of the year when they gave up 70 points to Miami? Can we take that game out? And then can you tell me how well they tackle?
I'm not doing it live. That would require several button pushes, but fair. I got to go with the number here. I'm going to go Texans.
See, I look at the last 6 games for the Broncos.
Totally different team.
It's a totally different team. And whatever happened after that 70-point beatdown by the Dolphins, Sean Payton got into that defensive room. He probably told Vance Joseph, his defensive coordinator, listen, we got to simplify this thing. We got to let these players play and stop thinking, and let's be as simple as we possibly can. And I think that has been the elixir for the Broncos to get them right back in the mix here.
Vance, fix this or I'm loading you into a space cannon. That's how that conversation went. Okay. All right. Preemptive veto. I can't believe this is real. Bucks laying 5.5 against the Panthers. I am telling you, I don't care if this show goes 5 years, 10 years, 2 years. I will never, ever bet the Panthers with Bryce Young. Ever. I cannot.
I agree with you.
Veto.
I'm right there with you. If I were going to take one of these two teams, I would probably take the Panthers only because coaching change.
Yep.
And these things seem to work for these teams in the short term.
Bounce.
In the short term.
Yep.
I don't think they'll win, but I think they would cover the game. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than the 5.5 points, but I wouldn't take either team.
Veto here?
Yep. 100%.
Same here.
Yep.
All right. Rams laying 3.5 against Joe Flacco and the Browns. What am I missing here? Why is this number 3.5?
I don't know, man. It's a scary number, and it's Matthew Stafford, and
they look good last week.
I didn't think Cooper Kupp was going to play, and he shows up and plays. And
he's tight-roping the sideline, the whole bit. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I don't know if Myles Garrett's 100%. I don't. I feel like he's been banged up a little bit, hasn't been as impressive the
He's
last couple
playing,
games.
He said I think it's a shoulder, so he said he's going to play until the wheels fall off.
All right,
was his
so
quote
that
this week.
tells me that he's not 100%. I'm actually going to take the Rams here. Actually, no, hold time out. They're favored. They're favored by 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Browns because I think it will be a field goal game.
What about this angle? And you'd have to give me the player's psychology. Browns defense kind of got embarrassed last week.
Yep.
A little bit of a pride thing, little bounce back here, or is that just made up?
All right, forget it. I'm not even thinking. I'm sorry, Brian. I know that I got you all over the place here.
Guys having a nervous breakdown over here,
I
Brian.
can't even believe these two teams. I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to lay the points, and the reason I'm doing that is because of Joe Flacco stepping on the field for the first time in a year, and hasn't really practiced other than maybe 10 practices, and now all of a sudden it's going to be thrust into a starting situation. And when he was with the Jets, maybe he kind of calmed things down and could move the ball down the field. But, man, he would make turnovers that would kill the team. So I'm going to take the Rams here. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Rams.
What about that Rams O-line versus the Browns?
I'm taking the Rams.
Stop
talking to me. I'm
on his
taking a Rams.
forehead over the Rams and the Browns. He's sweating it out.
Only here do you get a deep dive on Rams and Browns. I think we've covered it more than the local radio stations have.
God.
And you would twist to the knife. That's great.
I had to. I'll go Rams because I'm not convinced Joe Flacco's not a cardboard cutout of a quarterback.
Thank you. Okay.
This game, all right. Chiefs laying 6, traveling to Lambeau to take on the new look Packers.
Yeah.
Is Jordan Love a thing now?
He is. The last 3 weeks he has been. And, he played great against the Lions. Chiefs defense, much better than the Lions. Chiefs defense has traveled well all year long. I think this game is going to be tight. I really do. I think it's going to be within the number. So I'm going to take the Packers. I do believe the Chiefs will win, but I'll take the Packers in the points.
I'm with you here because the Chiefs do this basically once a month now. Everyone's like, man, when are the Chiefs going to get it right offensively? Then they play a bad team and they light them up. And then it's right back to, wait, they only scored 9 points against the Broncos? Or wait, what's wrong with the offense? The Packers, they were very shorthanded against Lions. No Devondre Campbell, no Jair Alexander. Their offensive line is top 5 in the league, and they are elite pass blocking. Spags is going to bring the blitzes. I would assume their line will hold their water. If Love is actually developed, I'm with you. Mahomes laying north of a field goal was a bad idea. All of it's a bad idea, but that's a real bad idea. I'm going to go Packers. I can't believe I'm going Packers here.
Could they be one of these teams that comes on the end of the season the way that they have played and make it into the playoffs? That's a real question because there's probably about 3 or 4 teams that we'll get to a little bit later on that have that opportunity, and I think they're one of them.
Yeah, there's basically, if you said the Vikings are in, which I'm not certain of, those comments by O'Connell this week were weird.
Well, he knows he's got a quarterback issue now.
Well, I mean, I could have told you that the day you brought Dobbs in.
Yeah, but Dobbs was good. And don't get me wrong. What he did the first couple games for them was amazing. But now all of a sudden, getting ready for a game plan, week in and week out. Yeah, it's a little
tape
different.
gets out. I'm going to take the Pack, and I agree with you.
Okay.
I think there's a scenario that they could creep in. Jags, Bengals. Jaguars on Monday Night Football, first time in, I think, 12 years, laying 8.
Yeah, I feel bad for my Bengals, man. Trey Hendrickson has got to be the guy that changes the game. He's got to force a fumble on a sack. He's got to tip a ball, things of that nature. He'll have the matchup advantage for the Bengals from their defensive standpoint, but I just don't. Their offense can't do anything with Jake Browning. They can't. I mean, and they have so many good players that are frustrated now, and they're going to be leaning heavily on Joe Mixon. I do like the Jags here. It's a Monday night coming out party for them. I'm going to lay the 8. I'm going to take the Jags.
You can hear the gears turning. I don't like the Jags as a big favorite, but I'm with Boomer. There is no way in HELL hell I can bet Jake Browning. I am going to veto this. It would be Jags, but this is going to be a pass.
Another problem with the NFL is just these backup quarterbacks that aren't ready to play.
Can't do it.